Welcome, everyone. This is GBNews Originals, and I'm Neil Oliver. We might as well have been watching the Seven Dwarves in the White House this week. It's panto season all year round for us lot in the cheap seats. The UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer with his 20% approval rating at home, France's Emmanuel Macron with his 20% approval rating at home, Germany's Friedrich Merz with his 20% approval rating at home. There they all were. Buy one at the ballot box in Britain and get the rest free, together for a command performance. A bunch of frauds, but they're our frauds. Across Western Europe, long-suffering populations have made plain they want nothing of their own so-called leaders. These are little people, often in the literal sense of the word, but in all cases in the measure of their characters. It's a cliché that no one's bigger than the show, but in the case of those we are invited to watch play the part of national leaders, they barely fill their costumes. There's a pantomime feeling throughout. Dwarves trooping around the continent, dopey, sleepy, grumpy, you name it. If they were only there for cheap gags, it might be bearable, but billions of lives are actually on the line, and we have to watch and listen to a clown show. And then there's EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, who reminds me of the Wicked Witch of the West when she was Defence Minister for Germany, an earlier calling during her career best summarised as always failing and falling upwards. German troops took part in NATO exercises armed only with broomsticks, the calling card of every witch, because there weren't enough guns to go around, thanks to her. This week, the panto cast shuffled on stage in Washington, D.C. to talk about the war in Ukraine. Little Zelensky was there too, another snack-sized leader, and about as relevant in relation to ending the war as I am. Panto is a grand old tradition, and I'm not knocking it, but all we're greeted to now by our Western leaders is inexcusably bad acting. Who believes this tired shtick now from Starmer and co.? Who believes the globalist stooges of Europe are doing anything more, individually and collectively, but pinning all their hopes on forever war that will stop their populations properly contemplating the collapse of their homelands? One-trick pony Merz keeps reading the lines about a ceasefire in Ukraine. Who is left that seriously thinks Russia is going to fall for that one again? If you're a US resident, let's face it, things feel uncertain right now. America's national debt, over $36 trillion and climbing. Inflation, still eating away at your savings. And the dollar, down nearly 8% this year, with more countries walking away from it. Meanwhile, the markets, one day they're up, the next day, trillions gone in a blink. So it's no surprise people are asking, where can I actually put my money and sleep at night? That's why more investors are turning to gold and silver. Gold's up over 24% this year, smashing records and soaring past $3,300 an ounce. And some analysts say we could see $6,000 gold before the end of Trump's term. And silver, it's heating up fast, driven by demand in tech, solar and defence. Some analysts say it could double in value this year. If you've been thinking about moving part of your IRA or 401k into gold or silver, tax and penalty free, our friends at Priority Gold make it simple. They're endorsed by Rich Dad's Robert Kiyosaki, ranked number 1 by Forbes and Financial Services Review, and trusted by thousands of everyday Americans. Right now, GBNews viewers can get a free wealth preservation guide from Priority Gold. It shows you exactly how to add real gold and silver to your IRA or 401k tax and penalty free. Step-by-step plain English, no pressure, just smart information you can act on. Just scan the QR code, click the link in the description below, or if you're a US resident, text WEALTH to 24999. That's WEALTH to 24999 and claim your free guide today. The price of gold can go down as well as up. Past performance does not indicate future performance. Only invest what you can afford. To name but one double cross, Putin fell for the Minsk II agreement back in 2014. Then in 2022, former German Chancellor Angela Merkel admitted the peace she signed, along with Putin and others, was a scam, just a ruse to buy time in which Ukraine could be rearmed for continued hostilities with Russia. Why on earth would Putin fall for anything like that again? Why would he trust people that, after all, he has no need to trust? The war in Ukraine has been won on the battlefield by Russia. Everyone knows this. Everyone also knows, or if they don't know, they're too dumb to be worth listening to in any context, that the war was always a war between Russia and the United States of America, with Ukraine just a proxy. NATO lost, and NATO is the United States of America. Russia has won. All that will bring a formal end to it is the US and the various European dwarves who matter not at all anyway, accepting what Russia has always demanded, which is to say no more NATO enlargement, no more of the 1,000-mile creep across Europe that NATO has accomplished since promising Russia in the early 1990s that the bloc would not advance an inch into the east. Russia has made clear it claimed 20% of Ukraine's territory in the east, including Crimea. Finally, the matter of future security arrangements, which amounts to Ukrainian neutrality. And yet still, after 3 years and perhaps 1 million dead, bad actors take the spotlight and demand ceasefire, no loss of sovereign territory. It's just not credible anymore, if it ever was. Who can fail to notice either how many Western leaders in recent times have come from drama school backgrounds? School drama student Macron, Justin Trudeau of Canada, who exited stage left a while back after an excruciatingly bad run and disastrous reviews, was a drama schoolboy, former comedian and actor Zelensky. Are we not supposed to notice? Or are we, on the contrary, expected to notice and so have our noses rubbed in the low-calibre nature of those they would give us as leaders? Here in Europe, we're living through a farce that would be hilarious to watch if it wasn't actually life and death that are at stake. And this week, we had to endure an ensemble appearance in Washington, D.C. when our dwarves, bad actors everyone, trotted on stage as extras in the background while President Trump had to tell Zelensky what might happen next. Trump is also unconvincing. Never clear if he's playing good cop or bad cop. Putin sticks to his script. Even Zelensky has consistently trotted out the same lines since 2022, but Trump blows in the wind like a weathercock, promising peace 1 minute, rearming Ukraine the next. He had the Euro weenies line up and look at the jumbo photo of himself, blood-stained and defiant in Butler, Pennsylvania, after the assassination attempt. That was high drama, of course, gunfire, blood, and Trump made sure to have the dwarves see how it's done when it's done right. But bad actors do as bad actors do, and so we had to sit through the likes of Merz of Germany continuing to bang on about a ceasefire.
And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire, the latest from the next meeting on. I can't imagine that the next meeting would take place without a ceasefire.
Did they draw lots for this stuff? Did Merz get the short one? Is it the intention of the producers and directors of this guff that we simply see our leaders for what they are, hollow, devoid of character, capable of no more than ham acting? Is this how we, the audience, are prepped for the new series and cast for whatever might come next? What will the next season even be? No war? Or maybe just a change of location, war in Iran, or elsewhere in the Middle East. Elsewhere, there are voices that seem, to me at least, altogether credible. Voices from sage observers who have been watching it all play out not for months, but for decades. US public policy analyst Jeffrey Sachs often has the air now of one who spends much of his downtime with his head in his hands, and yet he continues to cut through to what sounds like the heart of the matter.
I don't think Trump should aim for or care about what Ukraine and Europe say about this if Trump ends the war, it's in Ukraine's overwhelming interest, and the Ukrainian people want that no matter what Zelensky says.
When the panto acting is as bad as what we're seeing on the European stage and in Washington, D.C., it's vital somehow to remember what is actually at stake.
I don't think that there's a security threat to the United States other than nuclear war, which is possible. And this is one of the reasons why all wars of major powers should be stopped. But there is no other threat other than the fact that the American people are sick of this. We're at war all the time. Trump came into office promising to end these wars. If he doesn't end the wars, if he's too weak, too incoherent, too inconsistent, too ignorant, too cowardly, what it will do is just further weaken the American faith in their own political institutions, which is already very, very low, I have to say. So America is in a political crisis. Trump hardly commands the widespread support of the American people. They would like him to fulfill a campaign pledge to end this war. It was supposed to be in 24 hours. Now it's the balance of 9 months or 8 months. He should get on with it.
It's not just Americans who have had enough of this calamitous show. All across the Western world, the audience want the bad actors gone. All the world's a stage, maybe, but is this all we deserve? It's time to bring the house lights up. That's all, folks. It's time we told them. Show's over. This is GB News Originals. If you've enjoyed this content, please click and subscribe.